Trump was asked a question by a reporter, to which he responded, attacking the reporter and just being weird and bizarre. But it was about this post that I'll show you that he sent out. We discussed this, I think, on the weekend live stream. That was fun. But it was this. He said, I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Shipocalypse now. Shipocalypse. And it's an AI image of him with helicopters flying in. So he's memifying this authoritarian federal overreach. And he posted that. Again, because you're going to be gaslit. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War is what he sent out with helicopter emojis. Then he gets asked about this and lashes out the reporter.
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would the Department of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
Wait a minute. This is interesting. Let me see here. The White House trimmed that very strategically. Oh my gosh. Did we just, while we're recording this, 1 second, the Wall Street Journal, lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's estate have given Congress a copy of the birthday book put together for the financier's 50th birthday, which includes a letter with Trump's signature that he said doesn't exist. While we're recording, we have the Epstein birthday letter, and it indeed is there. There must be more to life than having everything. Yes, there is. This is written right over the boobies. But I won't tell you what it is. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey says, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald says, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey says, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. And then Donald said, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. May every day be another wonderful secret. Donald J. Trump. And then it's funny that they said this is supposed to be the pubic hair. Because, like, it's in that region, but someone kind of editorialized that. Because we don't know that's supposed to be the pubic hair. But whatever. That's what it was claimed. And that is indeed the thing that Trump said didn't exist. So that's an interesting little something we came across while we were doing this. But I wanted to find Trump darling. He calls the reporter darling. And they cut out the question.
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would the Department of Defense?
Listen, be quiet.
And then the clip that it just darling, and did they even show that in this clip? Okay, they did. I just didn't hear the first time. So she said, are you planning to go to war with Chicago? And he says, you're fake news, darling. Mehdi Hasan says the president of the United States calls a female reporter darling before telling her to be quiet and saying she's second rate. Totally normal stuff here in America 2025. He posted this. And she says, you're fake news for saying, and he goes, I'm not going to war. You said Chicago's about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Ridiculous. One thing that's driving me crazy since I saw this was the Trump administration. You might remember when Biden passed the infrastructure law, they started putting up signs where the sites of the projects were. I have the signs if you're going to pull that up. That looked like this on the left here. And it would say, project funded by Joe Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. So it was signs put up at different infrastructure projects that were only made possible by Biden's infrastructure law. The Trump administration, you can see in the photo on the right, is replacing those blue signs with red signs saying President Donald J. Trump rebuilding America's infrastructure. I said I would be cool to go find these segments. My cheeks are getting nice and red. It's a little toasty in here. But I remember saying, get ready, because the projects, the way that these projects work, will only start to be finished into the Trump years since he ended up winning. And he's going to go around and be at the ribbon cuttings. He's going to have his golden shovel, whatever, and he's going to take credit for these things. We already saw that pop up with when they say Trump has brought in this many trillions of dollars of investment, and you look at their calculations, and number one, they can only calculate like 1/10 of the claim Trump makes, but then of that 1/10, you have half of it that is Biden era stuff. So we knew they were going to do this, but this is so blatant. And the Rolling Stone was reporting on it. The Trump administration is taking down blue signs that once touted project funded by Biden's infrastructure law and putting up red signs that credit Trump with it. This photo right here, it tells you so much about American politics, because so frequently, this isn't about, oh, Democrats are great all the time, but the fact of it is, when good things do happen, you roll the dice, and most of the numbers on that die are gonna prove that it was probably a Democratic administration. Not always, but most of the time. The economy has performed way better. Big social program enhancements have usually happened under Democrats. Just in general, while plenty of problems, way better governance has happened historically under Democrats than Republicans. You can see the state-by-state comparison of outcomes on a bunch of issues, and a lot of these really red states are the ones struggling the most on those key issues: crime, infrastructure, education, poverty. And then red states will take credit for federal government programs that were only made possible by Democratic governance. Red states will take a bunch of tax dollars that were gotten from net giver blue states like California. Red state representatives will go around touting infrastructure projects in a bill that Biden signed that they voted against. We caught them a bunch of times on that over the Biden years. And now, literally, Trump putting up a red sign where a blue sign used to be, taking credit for infrastructure projects in a bill, I think the Rolling Stone article had this, that Trump called a loser for the USA. Vehemently opposed it. Trump promised in his first term infrastructure, never did it, and now is taking credit for the projects that were only made possible because of them. Don't you love it? And do you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to be drinking a beer, walking down the road with their wife, who's technically their sister. I'm kidding. And they're going to say, I'm kidding. Not really. It's their cousin. And they're going to say, wow. No, they're going to say MAGA when they see that sign. They're going to say, that's my president. Not really. Kidding. It's just funny. And by the way, in reality, instead of accomplishing stuff, here's what's happening. Your healthcare insurance co-pays, deductibles, and premiums will surge this upcoming year. Some, in part, because of actions the Trump administration's taking when I thought we were going to get paid to take drugs now. I thought healthcare was about to get free, as Trump had been arguing. And then the last example of this is Trump taking credit for economic performance under his first term. That was just the natural continuation of the Obama era economy. Like, anyone could have predicted that's how the economy was going to do. And he took credit for it. And Americans fell for it. Even though he mishandled the pandemic, like Bobby admitted, he mishandled the crisis, but everything before is all Americans seem to remember. So we reelected him on this fallacy that the economy was good because of him when it was pretty good despite him. And then really, really bad because of him. And now, and the reason is he didn't do a lot of really economically consequential things his first term. But now he's actually using his big brain to push forward economic policies, and we're seeing what it's doing. It was all right there. If people just watched the show, we'd be fine. I told him. I warned him.